good evening, all my little bunnies. Daisy here with you tonight, and we're going to do another Game Thoughts video. And continuing on with where we were last time, I talked about Borderlands 1. And, well, you can't talk about Borderlands 1 without going to Borderlands 2. I just checked before I started this video, and it looks like I played combined between the two versions of the first one around 750 hours. Borderlands 2, on the other hand, I played 965 hours. So you can see I may have a little bit of a time-made opinion on this. So we'll get into it. First off, just like the first one, there was a good long main story and 4 good characters to play with. Another Siren named Maya, a sniper character, which was also a ninja, named Zero, a gunzerker, who was a dwarf-type person who could wield 2 guns as his bonus ability, and Axton, who was a commando, kind of the new version of Roland. Now, out of the initial characters, I can't necessarily say I was overly impressed with anybody. I first played as Zero, made it all the way through. But I think I kind of liked Axton, the commando guy, better, just because his abilities were a little more my style. As a sniper, I was hoping for more sniper upgrades in the Zero chain, but it didn't really fit me so much, and I wasn't a big fan of his special attack, the time freeze and attack thing, whereas Axton had the placeable turret, which was, well, just about as fun as Roland's was originally. So, in fact, a little bit more fun, depending on what all options you went with throughout your growth chains. And again, just like the first game, each character had several different ways you could build them with their experience chart, like their upgrade charts. So you got a lot to play with there. And they added 2 extra characters as DLC later on, one of which was free if you did the pre-order, which I did, so Gage is amazing. She actually turned out to be way more of a favorite than any of the main characters. She has her special ability involves summoning a robot. She's a necromancer, I think was the name. But she summons a robot that fights with you, and that is just awesome. She also has an anarchy mode, which can be very chaotic, but is also awesome. The last add-on character is the one I didn't care for as much. You did get him, but he was a berserker, the psycho-type person, like all the guys with axes that are running around the game. I just didn't care. I'm not mad he's there. Some people like him, so good on them. But not my flavor. Now, this game had some definite upgrades, some serious level upgrades to the excitement. First, the environments were way more varied. Throughout the game, you definitely get into different areas, a lot of different things to look at, and you're constantly not looking at the same thing. Lots of different kinds of bad guys and creatures to kill throughout the game. So, totes upgrade on that. The weapons did change a good bit from Game 1 to Game 2. For good or worse, I did love a lot of the original looks, but I like the looks of the new ones too, so I can't really complain. New elements to play with, like the blight, the purple stuff guns. It basically made, if you shot someone with them, they were now more vulnerable to any damage after that. So, well, it's a good thing. Works out. All of the original cast are non-player characters throughout the game that occasionally will come into parts. You'll initially find them, then they'll be in the game and they'll interact with other things and help kill stuff with you. So they didn't just forget about the original 4. They are still there and they still have fun with you. So it's a good upgrade. And this one had 3 playthroughs. I don't know if I ever did finish the 3rd playthrough on anybody because, you know, original, uh, uh, the True Vault Hunter mode, and then like whatever it was, like God mode or whatever, where the bad guys were just insane levels. So it was really, really hard. But I did try, so can't blame me for not trying. Um, and there were several good DLCs for it. When I say several, I mean quite a few. There were initial like 4, but there are then all these ones for different holidays that were added in. And this is just so much content. If you get the full package, I mean that you have easily hours upon hours of playing. Even if you just play with one character and one playthrough, you have so much you can enjoy here. But by the time you're through all that, you'll want to keep going because it is that kind of good. They even added more DLC as 3 was coming out as kind of a bridge to make it better. And this was after it was no longer the new game. The one that I'll be talking about next, 1.5, was currently the new kid on the block. And, well, that's another story. um, but there was so many cool bad guys, so many good guns to play with, so many different ways to play on this game. It was hard to give up on it whenever I started working on 3. I don't want to say even give up. I just mean stop playing it as my my primary stress reliever game. um, Another really good bonus this game introduced was instead of um, each character has a lot of direct bonuses that are with them, they also had the badass meter, which after you do achievements, you get points in this. And to get enough points, you get to get a percentage upgrade, which works for all characters you ever play. So, anytime you play this game, if you get any kind of achievements, you start filling up that meter. And then you add more bonuses, and you add more percentage to your ability to hit, your speed of reloading, your healing, your health level, all of that stuff. Everything gets increased permanently on all your characters. So by the time you've played for 965 hours, you're going to have some seriously good percentages to start with when you play the game again. One silly bonus that you get by having done the pre-order bonus, which obviously you cannot pre-order this game any longer. It exists. It's already old at this point. Was you got to start up with a small selection of extra guns. They weren't really great. They're still starter weapons, but it gave you the option of starting with more than just the handgun that you would get in the first. So don't worry about spoiling anything by telling you get a handgun at the beginning of the game. You get that pretty much right away. It's your first weapon. But this way you would start with, I believe it was a assault rifle, or it was an SMG, a sniper rifle, and it was either an assault rifle or a shotgun. I can't remember for sure because I would generally equip the sniper rifle and the SMG because they were the better 2 options. I'm a little sniper, so no matter what character type I'm playing, probably have that up as much as possible. A careful shot, and I'm good at it. Pop that head off. Boop. There were a lot of weird things in some of the DLCs, like at one point you have to stop and listen to a grandma talk and remember what things she's talking about. And she's talking about blowing things up and her son, Mr. Torg, and you're having to listen to this silly story about what was going on. Another fun bit out of one of the random holiday DLCs with the Valentine's one, it ended with 2 guys that you had to kill almost the exact same time, or they would come back to life full health because they were lovers, and you were killing them both because they were evil. Evil. All the elements are back here, if I remember right. We didn't lose anything. We just added a new one, which meant you have a lot of good reactions you can do on bad guys. They did a much better job with the use of all of the different elements. The fire, the acid, the electricity, the blight. Blight says that's the name of the purple stuff. And explosives. Uh, it gave you a lot more variety of how to use things. They added a lot of robot characters, which you then use the acid on because they're armor. And they would show resistance to things that they would have more resistance to, like the fire. So, not bad. It gave you a reason to work with different equipment. It gave you an excuse to try different guns. And hey, it's a ride. To say the least, yes, I felt the story in 2 was way improved. I felt like they had their time. They were able to get through what they wanted to get through. They didn't. I don't feel like they had to cut corners and close the end of the story quickly like they did on 1. It really has a place to be. It has a story to tell, and it tells it with a vengeance. And the DLC is just all icing on the cake. 4 full-fledged DLCs. To be honest, off the top of my head, I can't remember what they are. Um, in fact, I have more memory of all of the holiday packs at the end because of the ones I would have played most recently. Because I went through and played like everything on my last playthrough except for I never actually finished that added DLC they added just before 3 was released. The Bridging the Gap thing. I was busy. I had a lot going on, so I didn't have time to sit down and play a lot of Pew Pew. But hey, I have that to work on at some point. Game's still there. Game's still installed. Ready to go. But sitting there keeping that that badass point chart going up, it gave me something to really want to do, and it gave me some reason why I would definitely want to play another character and add to that next character. And then you get to the one you weren't really as excited about playing, but by the time you got to them, you had all this bonus stuff going on, so it's like, well, it makes up for it. The character out of the main 4 I liked probably the least was the Gunzerker because just your special ability being you pull out a second gun at the same time for a short period felt a little bit. It would just be whatever's next slotted, so your first 2 weapons would be out at the same time. It just made me wasting ammo more. I didn't feel like it was effective anymore as a sniper, primarily using 2 guns, just straight shooting it. Didn't do it for me. But I definitely put this up on the recommended list. It's pretty cheap right now at this point on Steam, so between 1 and 2, you're only paying a tiny fee to get them and say all their DLCs, and you'd have a ton of game to play. The main story was really, really long. I actually thought I was getting to the end of it at one point, and it was really just the halfway point. I was really shocked at how long that game actually felt. And there are times when you feel out and alone, and there's times when you feel like you're safe, and then they get rid of that safe feeling. But in the end, you still end up with access to Sanctuary and all your upgrade abilities. Lots of cool non-player characters to talk to, and tons of side missions, tons of extra stuff to do. It has a really high level cap now, so you have a lot of ways to grow and make your character bigger and better and more awesomer. More awesomer, that's an important part. So, definitely recommend both this and the first one. And don't worry, I'll get into the other ones later. Spoiler alert, one of them I actually don't recommend. That's coming up next. Yeah, I hope you all have a good pew-pewy night thinking about that. And remember, Daisy's happy to see all your faces, and she's enjoying showing off hers to you and talking about, well, games and things. I'm going to continue this on for probably a few more videos at least without going on other subjects because I have a few thoughts of other stuff I want to go over, not just the next two, which are both Borderlands related. One more good, one more bad. Bad one's coming up next. um, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're so intrigued, the Patreon link is at the bottom there. Starting, well, from the time of recording, this will be next week. I will be doing my two most recent Patreon requests, and then they'll be brought up on the channel. You'll probably see those before this comes up because I have a few videos in the bank right now, and trying my best to get out a full suit video about every other day. So, get you some variety. You get a talkie video, and you get a suity video. Everybody wins. And spoiler alert, there may be some new suits coming on the video stream soon. Talking to Autumn, maybe I can get him to come and play with me and do some stuff on the camera on the weekends. I think I convinced him. Anyway, hope you all have a fluffy pink day and have some happy bunny time with me. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the dingly bell. Patreon link at the bottom.